I will call this committee a conference on House Bill 2022 to order. And if the Senate would allow, I would like to just talk briefly about the changes. Yeah, sorry about that. I love this arrangement that we have. And just where we could possibly reach agreement and where we're not probably going to reach some agreements. First, House Bill 1269 passed the House our last session. In that, it does eliminate the Scenic and Cultural Byways Council. So the language that you have in there is good to keep something going so that the department and somebody is looking at those byways now that the council is being disbanded. So that's a good move.
Correct. That was a recommendation by DOT because they're doing the updates and upkeeps anyway.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
while the committee is no longer there, they will continue doing the upgrades. So
Yeah.
they had requested that it be in there.
I know talking to members who put that 1269 together, they had worked for several years on which councils and commissions to get rid of, and this was one that had not met for years.
Right.
So Representative Ebel called me over the weekend to make sure I understood that, even though I was a co-sponsor of the bill. The second one, the remote language for the Transportation Council. The House would prefer that language for remote meetings of the council itself, as far as quorum and the rest, be removed. We have either killed or tabled several bills in the last couple of weeks that dealt with remote meetings.
And the reason that there's, I think, what is it, 14 members. I'm on the New Hampshire Transportation Council. There are 14 members on there. Two of the most important ones, we have Rad Nichols, who has major health issues, but he's a important part of it. So he can't come in. Now, Connie Crawford was recruited to come in by the commissioner. She's an expert in transportation, technology, and transit, but she's out of New Jersey, but she is a member. So that's why, in order to maintain and be able to vote, I'd like to allow those two to vote and be part of our quorum.
And as I said, the House would prefer that it come out. Guys, yay, nay? Okay. Yeah, there are a couple others that I've noticed that have gone through. So we can accept that.
Okay.
Now we'll get to the hard ones.
I know.
The floor amendment that was added about EV infrastructure funding, the House tabled the almost identical bill at our last session. The House will insist that come out of the 10-year plan.
I'll just, if I may say a word, Mr. Chairman, about that, is that we did take out the creation of a fund in this version of the amendment.
But by any other definition, I've talked with House Ways and Means and House Finance, and the way it's worded, it is a dedicated fund by any other name, since it does not go through fiscal or anything else. It just goes to the commissioner and out. We prefer to have it go through the existing systems that are there, either the fiscal committee or the 10-year plan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I do believe that many of the projects in the 10-year plan is the federal requirements of funding that have sent this to DOT to be spent. The advantage of having this language in statute is that it clarifies the priorities, which are indeed Governor Sununu's priorities and how we spend EV funding, and also clarifies or reinforces the right of the commissioner to hire an outside contractor. So it really is kind of practical. I think it ran into the kind of anything about EV is not so good. feeling, but there it is. I mean,
The,
the money's going to get spent anyways, but this is a wiser way to do it.
the other thing, that when I did talk to the commissioner, she said, granted, it's not necessarily needed for the federal funds because the 10-year plan actually authorizes them, but if there are any grants that are available from the state or, other grants available, they would need, some kind of fund to put it in.
It, the House still would prefer that it come out.
You take it out?
Well, why don't we continue?
Okay, let's
And then
continue.
the final,
And then after, we'll caucus.
Okay.
Hopefully Ruth will be back.
and there is one that the House will walk on if it is not included, is the ownership of Continental Boulevard. That was fought on the House floor. It is the House position, and we will defend that House position.
And as the Senate position is to keep it with the DOT, at least for the time being. Where they still owe money on it, and I think at least for the time being, it needs to stay exactly where it is. And that's the Senate
yeah.
position.
The House and Senate seem to be in disagreement. I don't think that any of the House members are going to change. So I think our continuing to meet is probably counterproductive.
We have a 1-minute recess.
Yep.
All right, we are back in session. There is still no agreement on either of those two issues, I assume, Senator? The
We
EV
will,
fund?
we will pull out the EV fund.
Okay, thank you. So the sole issue that is left for a resolution is the ownership of Continental Boulevard. We all need to take a break for a minute. I would suggest, if the Senate is amenable, to a 10:30 meeting on Wednesday, May 18th. Room to be determined because I don't have this room full time. Is that amenable to, and it's amenable to the House. And I think both of us will be talking with our respective leadership. So with that, the Committee of Conference on House Bill 2022 is in recess until Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.